Hello, Shoshana here from Dancing Tree Solutions headquarters, and we have a very special guest this week. It's the most hands-on, step-by-step, you can work this through right now video we've ever had in the series. I am just thrilled to be giving it to you. The person who's going to be here with you is Dr. Sasha Mitrofanov, and he is a relationship engineer. He works mainly with men, and he works with them to help them work through whatever is stopping them from their complete fulfillment as men in their lives. That usually involves working on relationship stuff and also a lot around work and career issues as well. And he's absolutely brilliant at it. And one of the things he often has to do with men is help them work through their codependencies on their girlfriends or even ex-girlfriends. Guys will often come to him after they've been heartbroken and just can't stop thinking about their exes. This is perfect for just that kind of situation and ever so many more. So without further ado, I will give you over to Dr. Sasha, who he is going to help you work it out.
Hello, I'm Sasha, and today I'd like to lead you through the process that I've done numerous times with my clients, and this process will help you to remove any codependency from your life. So I'd like you to do this process along with me, and this is the way how you'll get the best, the most out of it. So one of the questions that I get asked that I'd like to answer before we actually start with the process is, does this codependency removal process, does it remove love? And the answer is, no, of course not. Love is all-pervasive and it's not something that could be removed with any kind of process. So we are only removing the bad, the yucky codependency stuff here. Love stays. Okay, so that said, what I'd like you to do is to imagine the person who you suspect you have some kind of codependency with and you'd like to remove it. Imagine that person standing a few feet away from you. And in your mind's eye, be very clear about what that person looks like, what it is that they're wearing, how tall they are, what is their posture, and especially what is their expression in their eyes as they look at you, as you see them now in your mind's eye. And as you imagine that person, I'd like you to pay close attention to what it is that you're feeling when you're looking and interacting with that person. And as you see that person in front of you, I'd like you to get a sense of if there are any kind of bonds or connections between you and that person. And people see it differently. Some people see those bonds or connections like ropes, or even chains, or like some kind of energy bonds. It's very individual. So once you identified those connections or bonds, I'd like you to be very clear on how exactly you see them. So it's like, if they were made of a specific material, what would that material be? What would be the texture of that connection? What color would it be? How big, how thick would it be? And maybe even if it was making any sounds, what sound would that be? Once you're clear on that, the next thing which I'd like you to do is to imagine some sort of a cutting instruments. It could be a knife or scissors or even a lightsaber that you're going to cut that connection with. And so literally go ahead and imagine cutting right through that connection or bond. And if there are several connections, just pick one of them at a time, okay? So cut right through that connection and then straight away pay very close attention to what happens for you as you do that. And typically people feel some kind of lack of intimacy, lack of support, lack of friendship, lack of love, feeling lonely or feeling cold or weak, whatever it is for you. Yeah, because the codependency by definition is us getting something from another person. So once you cut that bond of codependency, typically you would feel a lack of something, lack of some sort. And once you identify this lack, I would like you to imagine yourself in the future. That future you who has already resolved this codependency issue. That future you who've already fulfilled the lack of love, intimacy, support or friendship in your life, whatever it is for you. And as you imagine that future you, I would like you to see yourself there in the future, what it is that, again, you're wearing, what it that you look like, what's your posture, what's the expression in your future you eyes, who is around you, what kind of people, what kind of surroundings, what else is there in the future. And once you're clear on that, I would like you to imagine physically leaving your body and kind of flying forward into the future, and then landing into the future you's body, so that you can physically try your future you onto yourself and see through your future your eyes who is around you, what is around you, how are you feeling being there, what it's like to be future you, and then turning back towards the present you, looking back at the present you. What is that the present you didn't know that you in the future know already? And what is the single piece of advice that you'd like to give to the present you, that most importantly the present you needs to know? And once you've done that, I'd like you to again leave now the future you body, imagine flying up and then returning back into the present you, returning back to here and now, and then receiving that advice from the future you, learning what it that you need to know in order to remove the codependency. And once you've done that, you can turn back towards that person with whom you're removing the codependency with, and again imagine that cutting instruments cut through that codependency bond forever, cut right through it, and then to turn towards the future you straight away, and imagine walking towards future you as future you walks towards you, and imagine merging into one person right in between, so you become future you, and you now have access to all those resources that future you has. And just enjoy that feeling of being there, being that powerful future you for a moment, that loving, that well supported, that loved, appreciated future you. And once you've done that, you can turn back towards the person with whom you're resolving codependency and check for yourself, are there any more bonds or connections that you'd like to cut through? And there could be 1, 2, 3, 4. Basically keep doing the same process until all of those bonds are resolved one by one. And the good test for seeing whether the process is complete is that when you turn towards that person, there is no strong emotions or feelings anymore. Obviously there still could be a loving connection, but there is nothing of drama, there is nothing of longing, there is no lack, there is no angst, there is no fear. That is a good test for you to know that the codependency has been successfully removed. That's a wonderful process. I've done it numerous times with my clients. It works like charm every time. I suggest you do this process all people in your life. Again, it doesn't remove love, it removes only codependency. Good luck, and if you have any questions, feel free to email me at sasha@becomeauthentic.com, and you see the email at the bottom of the screen. And bye for now.
And a final word on what love is. You can really tell if what you're thinking or doing or being with someone is really love by asking yourself, does this facilitate or support them being in touch with their own deepest inner wisdom, their own amazing, beautiful clarity? Or does it diminish that? And being with someone in that highest, best possible way can be something you aspire to. It can be something that you know you may not be doing in a particular moment, but that you wish to do. And that's cool too. We all fall off the horse sometimes, every day actually. It's a part of being human and part of the human condition. That's totally okay. When you're loving someone, you're centered in your own loving and your own clarity. So here's another litmus test for you. Are you in your own inner clarity, your own wisdom, your own loving self, self-love, when you're with that person? And that's how you know. That's how you know.